Good evening. The Sting. Last Sunday, I found myself hungover, lying on my couch trying to nap. But as I was drifting off, I heard my roommate's friend, Natalie, in the other room making anxious calls on the phone. I listened in and pieced together her story. Her brand new iPhone 5 had just been stolen the previous Friday night at work. The next day, she found someone selling a brand new iPhone 5 for $500 on Craigslist. It was white, with a blue OtterBox just like hers. She had her friend Chris contact the seller saying he was interested in buying it. He had gotten the seller's name. Let's call him Hector, who confirmed that the phone had no charger cord and that it was password protected, but he didn't know the code. He said it was his ex-girlfriend's and he wanted to get rid of it. A likely story. He also sent more pictures, including one of the back without the case on that all but confirmed it was hers. You know that little protective film that comes on the back of a new phone? Natalie had left it on, but since it covered up the camera lens, she had cut the corner of it with a pair of scissors. No one does this. Everyone else just peels it off and throws it away. So it was almost definitely hers, and she wanted it back. This guy, Hector, told Chris he was planning on selling it to someone else that night, so she had to act fast. She wanted to set up a meeting to confront him, but if he was the thief, he might recognize her from Friday night and run away, and she'd never see her phone again. She called the police. They said that she said that she would have to call them right before the meeting happened, and they would come as soon as they could. Not much help there. So she needed someone to meet the guy for her, but Chris was at work, and she couldn't get a hold of anyone else. This is where I come in. I had overheard all of this. And just the day before, I had been ruminating on the fact that I don't do a lot of manly things. I don't box. I don't shoot things. I don't have adventures. I'm no Hemingway or Hunter S. Thompson. But this is my chance. Here I could do something bold, something daring. I rolled off the couch and I told Natalie, I'll help. I got Hector's number and pretended to be Chris's friend. I said he was tied up at work, but that I wanted to buy the phone for him. After some texting back and forth, we set the rendezvous for 6 p.m. I picked a public place for our little sting operation, the cafe area of a prominent Montrose grocery store. I told him I'd be the one in the blue hat. The plan was to meet him, verify that it was Natalie's phone, and ask for it back. We decided not to call the cops after all because we don't want to scare him off. Natalie was going to be there too, watching from a distance. A few hours later, I'm walking into the grocery store. I'm feeling confident, psyched up. I've been planning my script in my head all afternoon. I'm convinced I can talk to this guy and do the right thing and get the phone back. I buy a bottle of water and sit down facing the exit. I know this puts him closer to the exit, but I want to see the guy coming. This turns out to be my first mistake. As I wait for the next 15 minutes, I start to get nervous. I frantically scan the faces of every person walking in. What if he can tell I'm lying to him? What if he's bigger than me? What if he gets violent? This is some crazy shit I've gotten myself into. My phone buzzes. He texted me. Here. I reply, sitting in the cafe inside. Okay. Shit. This shit is going down. It seems like forever, but only a minute or so goes by before he walks up to me. Shortish. Young, Hispanic. He's dressed nicely. I think he might be gay. He sees the blue hat and comes up. Victor, I ask. He nods. He sits down next to me and hands me the iPhone and blue OtterBox right off the bat. I don't even ask him for it. I think to myself, how well this is going. I check out the back. The corner of the protective film has been cut off. Does it work, I say? Yeah, you can turn it on, he says. I try to turn it on, and I realize I don't have any idea what I'm doing. I've never turned on an iPhone before. I hope he can't see my hands trembling. Do you know how to work these things? I don't have an iPhone. No, I don't, he says. I have a Samsung. He takes his own phone out and shows me. I eventually figure it out and get the passcode screen. I key in Natalie's password. It works. I look at him as the home screen pops up. Where did you say you got this phone? A friend gave it to me. Okay, so here's the deal. This phone belongs to a friend of mine. It was stolen from her on Friday. Now, either you stole it or your friend did, and I'm going to take it back. He gives me an incredulous look. I sense he's strangely not so much concerned about having been caught, but that he won't be making $500 today. I'm not gonna pay you for it, but if you let me have it back, I won't call the cops right now. Go on ahead and call the cops, but you can't have the phone. A brief showdown as we stare at each other. I give him a look as to say, okay, have it your way. And then I make my second mistake. The mistake I swore I wouldn't make as I mentally prepared all afternoon for this. I set the recovered phone down on the table. And of course, as I'm taking out my own phone to call the police, he swipes the stolen phone and says, in an oddly emotional way, "You're not taking this phone," and runs away. I grab my water bottle and jump out to chase him. As we're rounding the deli corner, I see Natalie, who's been watching through the window, and the store security guard coming straight for him. "That guy's got my phone," she says. Hector freaks out and charges him. Natalie grabs him, and he falls, pulling her with him. He jumps up and starts to run toward the checkout line. I follow him. He's running wildly, never really recovering his balance. He knocks a sign down to block my path. I spring over like a gazelle. I shout, "Thief!" Everyone is staring at us. People are dodging to get out of the way, but in this moment, I have only one thought: get him. And he plows his way through the self-checkout area. I chuck my nearly full bottle of water at him. I miss. It explodes everywhere, but it scares him, and he stumbles as he's getting out the door. Before he even hits the ground, I'm on top of him, pinning him to the ground. I hear myself shouting, "Give me the fucking phone!" "You want the phone? Take it." And he girlishly chucks the phone at the wall. Natalie and the security guard catch up to us. The next moments are chaos. Natalie is recovering her phone. The security guard is hustling Hector back inside, and he's shouting, "That's my phone! They stole my phone!" And the manager comes down to figure out what's going on. For all he knows, I'm the thief here. And in all the commotion, Natalie and I watch as Hector nonchalantly walks out another door and disappears into the night. We send security guard out after him, but it's too late. The guy is gone. The manager takes our story. He's actually really cool about it. He says we should have told him beforehand, so he could have had the cops there when it went down. We call the cops to make a report about the whole thing. I get a sandwich at the deli, and Natalie buys us some root beer and cream soda. I'm hopped up on adrenaline, and it all tastes funny. Some of the employees come to hear the story and congratulate us, but I can't help but feel weird. I feel great for having done something good, but I feel embarrassed for disturbing all the people shopping here. And I actually kind of feel bad for having tricked Hector for scaring him like I did. Plus, he still got my phone number. I'm not even sure if what I did was legal, stealing back a stolen phone from a guy who may not have stolen it. Not very manly thoughts. I guess I can't help it. But we got the phone back, and it still works. The corner's chipped from where Hector threw it, but the blue OtterBox covers it up. And that unmistakable protective plastic film is still there, with the corner cut so the pictures won't be blurry. Thank you.